keep it very busy.
Yeah.
You might want to open up that office, right here in Washingtonville.
Yeah.
I think one of the questions, you wanted to
That I-
mention
yeah.
the portal to portal, the reimbursement.
Oh, in terms of drive time?
Yeah.
You know, like today, I spent my entire day in Newburgh, so it took me a whole walking 20 minutes to get over here. You know, so you're not gonna be charged for, you know, for those kinds of, usually on the professional services side of stuff and the design stuff, that stuff is, you know, you see proposals, it's not gonna say, and the engineer's gonna come down 20 times and they're gonna charge you for every minute he's in the car and every mile he drives. We do construction inspection projects, sometimes there are costs associated with having a person on site every day. But the reality is so much of the design stuff is done in the office. You know, I mean, all of us are old enough to remember when you used to have to like actually go to a physical location, buy a map to look at a thing. We don't do that anymore. You know, it's all
Holy smokes, I
online.
wish we did it more often. I asked one of our guys the other day, have you been to the site? No, but look at this. And there he is in the driveway, right? Because he Google Earthed it and he was down there and he has another app that does this and does that. And it was better than being there for God's sake.
Sometimes it is, yeah.
But like Mary Beth said, no, we don't, I wish we did more of it. We'd make more profit, but we can't. You'll never see one from Mary Beth
From
or
us,
I.
yeah.
If we had a capital project and we have a construction inspection team here, you have somebody here full-time, yeah, you're gonna see some of that, but we'll work that out when the project comes up. We're very flexible about that kind of stuff. That's not how an engineering firm is supposed to make money.
No.
And we can see some of the other references.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll see Maureen tomorrow,
Oh, there you go, good, okay.
and she'll say it's good. And if she doesn't, I'll let you know.
She will.
Don't use her anymore.
But if she doesn't, let me know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let us know.
Just take her
For some
off of that
reason, she
list.
says.
No, that would be good for
The
you.
grant writing is part of the process. It's not
Yeah,
It's not
so,
a fee for grant writing.
that's a really good question. We don't sell grant writing services as a separate service. You can't just hire us to write a grant for you and walk away. Because the reason is, it's not successful, right? Successful grants are born of being strategic. We have almost 100% grant rate. Like, we write a grant, you get the money. The reason is because we only write grants that we know you're gonna get the money.
Yeah.
It's a pretty simple process. So the grant writing is born of careful planning and then seeding the grant process. So who's making the decision? How do we go to those people months and months and months, sometimes before the grants are announced, to say, here's the Village of Washingtonville, here's the problem that they've identified, here are all of the commitments that they've made to solve the problem, here's their willingness to invest in the problem, but for your grant of $1 million or $500,000 or $2 million or whatever the number is, this extremely well thought out, valuable process that the community wants to undertake can't happen because the impact is too much. In the world of people making choices about what they pay money for, because we're back to, you're a village, there's only so many people you get the money from. And you can't go, you know, out and ask people in the town to pay for stuff and live here. So we create that scenario so that when the grant application goes in, the person who's getting it, they already know Washingtonville, they know what your problem is, they know what you're willing to commit to, they know why this is a solution that works, they know that it will be durable and sustainable, they know all of those things. So the grant writing is embedded in the planning process of a capital project. It's part of doing it. And that's why it's really successful. Every once in a while, we'll have someone who'll come to us and say, hey, listen, I know you told me we can't get this grant, but for political reasons, I gotta apply. I have all these people sitting out here who are saying, well, we saw that so-and-so got a grant for this and so-and-so, and you're not even trying. Okay, fine. We'll write a grant, get it in there so that you can say, listen, we tried. Someone else said that. You know, so that happens. But most of the time, it's that there's a strategic reason why you're asking, and you know in advance. You know, we can never guarantee anything, but you know that you're highly competitive. You know that you're highly competitive, and sometimes with some of them, you know, it's sad but true, you need to ask more than once. You need to ask the first time, you get turned down so that they can accept you the second time. It seems strange, but, you know, that's part of the process.
You have to compete before you win.
There are some grants we're just gonna do, and our handshake is that you'll allow us to do the engineering when we win. There are other grants where we need to do an engineering report
Yeah, we need to spend
to
the money.
make the grant
Happen.
stand on its own. And so we then have staff working on that, who would be billable otherwise. And so we'll come in and say, yeah, but that engineering report, which by the way, can be used for the future, not just for this one, that has a value, and yeah, there's a fee associated with that engineering grant, or with the engineering report that goes into the grant. The grant, we don't need to charge you for that, but the engineering report, yeah, there'll be times when we have to do that, because that's a major expenditure. I mean, it's 25, 30 grand, something like that, and
Those
we'll work
engineering
something out.
reports are used for the
Yeah.
grants, but they're also used for regulatory purposes.
Yep.
They're used for compliance. They're, as you know, right, you can't do anything without, they want to see your calculations, they want to know your tank is big enough, your pump is big enough, your whatever. So there's a lot of value in those. So that's true.
Yeah, for instance, one of our towns asked us to help with a park project like Mary Beth was talking about. We met with our senator, we got $700,000, we got a commitment for 1.5 million. The Senate flipped, so that other 750 is not going to show. But we got $750,000 to do this park improvement project. We did all that work for free. We'll do the engineering work down the road, and that's fine. But we've also got other projects we're doing for that community, so it's sort of easy for us to invest. Because the community is to a certain extent investing in us, so it's a two-way street, so it's okay. But on the other hand, when we did an engineering report for the town of Hartwick, we charged them for that work,
Right.
and that went into a grant. So we'll just have a conversation when that opportunity comes, and we'll try to minimize it, you know, the best we can.
A lot of times, you know, once we have an engineer or a technical person working on something in the community, it's no big deal for you to say to them, hey, while you're here, zip over there and look at that, they're already here. Even they're here, and their brain is already on, they're already thinking about your community. There's no extra cost to have them do that. From our perspective, we're paying them anyway, and they're here, they're yours. It's a gift, right? So a lot of times, that's what's helpful, is just having that resource. Gee, I don't know who to call to ask this question to, well, call us. First of all, you make that phone call, we're not gonna charge you for the 20 minutes or half an hour on the phone with you, because it's brain time. We're sitting there thinking anyway, so we might as well think about you, whatever problem you're coming up with. And then at some point, when it gets past that, you know, and we have to engage staff, and people start working on the computers and cranking through the more detailed stuff, you know, then there's costs associated with it. But that initial, you know, we get it, it's really hard, you're a public body. The taxpayer's gonna say, wait a minute, I'm paying for what? You don't even know what the problem is, let alone the solution, and you want me to pay for this? So that's the hurdle to overcome, right? So sometimes you need to have at least some preliminary idea about, this is the real problem. Here's a range of solutions, and then this is the pathway. We're getting that little effort done, just so that you can have something in front of you as a board to say, okay, we got our arms around this. We know, is it a mountain or a molehill? And where are we at? And then you can say, okay, it's worth investing. Maybe it's stepwise. Maybe it's okay to make a little investment. Maybe we invest $7,500 in getting a preliminary study done. And then we decide we don't want to do it, whatever it is. Or maybe we say, no, that was a good investment, and now we can go that next step and look at it in more detail. And that's one of the things I think is good about having a relationship, rather than being kind of one-offs. Because with those one-offs, you don't get all that thinking that goes on. And the thinking is what seeds all of that. Well, we're gonna really identify the problem, as you guys know, right? Sometimes people will say, oh, my problem is this. Then you get there and you look at it and you go, yeah, no, that was the Band-Aid over the bleeding artery. Underneath that was the real problem. You only saw the symptom. So it's that brain power. And the more, you know, in the communities we've worked in for 20 years, you know, they will call and they'll say, you know, remember that bank that failed in 2007 over on Main Street? Remember that? And you're going, yep, I remember that. Well, it failed again, there's a pipe. We didn't know there was a pipe there. You know, but you know the community and you know, okay, I'll have someone there in 2 hours to look at the pipe. and figure out, is this a problem? Or is this an abandoned pipe? Is this something we need to do right now, in the middle of the night, or can we wait until we can, so there's a lot of value in that, in having that resource.
He does a lot more for you than what's in the scope. of work.
Exactly.
We try to do the same thing.
Yes.
I think I heard you say the word dam. If you had a dam problem, we have another guy at another engineering firm, that's all he does is dams.
Yeah.
So right away, I know who I'm gonna recommend that you talk to.
Exactly.
Now, because he's following our recommendation, he does a really good job, because we keep on feeding him dam work.
I have to
And
say,
that's just
it
works.
is, I've worked with him on a number of dams, and it is rare that he picks up the phone, we're having a conversation about what are we gonna do about this crazy situation we have, he goes, can I put you on hold for a second? I'm like, sure. 5 minutes later, he gets back on, he's like, Mary Beth? I'm like, yep. And he goes, okay. He has the section chief for DEC on the phone to talk about it right now. What is the issue and what do we need to do? That's the kind of clout he has, and that's rare. So, what's nice is we've been doing this for so long that we have those kinds of relationships. So I don't know the section chief for the answer now, but I couldn't pick the phone and get him on the phone for you, but he can.
Well, one of the concerns that we have, back in 2011, I guess it was, when Irene flooded,
Yes.
New York Rising came in. You're familiar with New York
Yeah.
Rising?
Unfortunately, we're familiar with it.
And they are planning a culvert down on 94, which has nothing to do with the village. It's not a village property, but it has everything to do with the village.
Sure.
After that is completed, they're looking at removing a dam at Moondaluda called the Mays Field Dam. And everyone you talk to who's been here for a very long time say that when the water is low in the creek, it affects our water, our drinking. You mentioned that, and I think you mentioned that too in conversation. So one of the things that we really have to think about, if we do remove this dam, what's gonna happen to that? The value of our water, number one, but, we have 4 or 5 wells that have been dug years ago that we need to somehow connect into our system.
Right online, they're dormant, but
Yeah,
they're not.
yeah.
I think we have 3 more years of paying a ridiculous amount in a bond. They just went around digging wells years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. With respect to dam, one of our clients had a dam taken out before we got involved, and it really had a big effect on the community. DEC came in and took the dam down, somebody made a decision that it had to come down, and that was that. The community, unfortunately, did not have a seat at the table, and they rue the day that that happened.
So part of what we do is advocate and get involved in those situations and say, have you considered
Have a seat at the
the
table on
impacts?
that.
Have you,
Yeah.
do you understand, can you document for us? Not just whatever you're,
Well, right now, I
this is
think
not
it's
gonna
just
happen.
hearsay, but
Right.
you've seen it,
But I would be
I
calling-
haven't seen it.
I'd be calling
I'm home, I don't know if we
central
are drinking Moon water, I don't know, are we?
When you have a concern like that, I'd be calling Richie Freer, the central office, and going there and talking to somebody and get folks to know that you want to see at the table if that's going to go forward. Because the system will respond, the system will give you a seat at the table.
But you have to ask.
Yeah,
They won't
exactly.
come to you. You have to advocate for yourself
That's right.
without question.
Yeah.
They won't come to you.
Yeah, there's a pond, they call it Brownsville, 208 and 207, where they meet, so in Burnside. And that was taken over, it was owned by Chris, I guess, who used to be, I believe, a senator. And they wanted to remove that pond. The town was going to purchase it for $1. Hamptonburg stepped in and said, no, it's ours, we'll take care of it. So they removed that from New York Rising. I believe they got their own grants for that, but it's also on the reach list. So,
Gotcha. Yeah.
and my question to the DEC at that point was, what would happen if this collapses?
Well, and,
It would make Irene look like just a regular rainforest.
and once it's removed, you've got a mud flat there, and it's a little bit of an eyesore, and what are we going to do about that?
Yes.
And sometimes those dams provide a little bit of storage capacity for those storm events. So So somebody needs to go through that calculation and figure out, is that a big EQ tank that has value to you, or are you better off it's down? If you're down, what are we gonna do about the big mud flat that looks like hell? And what are we gonna do about all that mud that every time it rains, that's going further down in my trout stream? One of our communities ruined their
It would come
trout
into
stream
here.
for many
Come
years
into
because
this.
it silted up the whole thing. And it was remarkable that
They didn't think about that.
the system,
Yeah.
and on the one hand, as I get older, I'm more skeptical of the system, but on the other hand, I also, the system is protective in a lot of ways. And this time it wasn't, in this particular municipal case,
Yeah,
which was
that's-
remarkable.
That's one of those, you know, the people who are worried about the dam don't talk to and have nothing to do
Yeah, they got
with
blinders
the
on.
people who are concerned about the fish,
Yeah.
or the people who are worried about the drinking water supplies, or the people who are, you know, you're talking about hazard classes, basically. If you have a dam breach, what happens, right? Life, property, health, right? You know, those kinds of things. Those folks have nothing to do with the guys who say, oh yeah, and we had a well filled down here and most people drink that water.
Yeah, or it's aesthetically beautiful,